Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and I'm extremely excited today to show you Resident Evil 4, the remake, running on the Steam Deck. So let's get right into it. Now, if you're new to this series of Will It Run on Steam Deck, essentially we tried to boot up the game to make sure it works properly, and then we go through the different settings on low, medium, ultra, you name it, just to get the different feelings of what will make it run the best on the system, and to get the best performance for you guys. And just to kind of go over any questions you may have if you are to purchase this device just for the Steam Deck. Now, this game literally just released about 5 minutes ago. I downloaded it right to the Steam Deck right away, so I have not even played it myself. Now, to skip any spoilers or potential anything like that, I'm going to skip the cutscenes at the beginning, and we're just going to get into the first little piece of gameplay at the beginning of the game, which, from what I remember, is from the tech demo, which was the chainsaw demo. So again, shouldn't have any spoilers or anything of the sort, so let's get right into it. This game is not at the moment verified by Steam themselves, so take everything that you see here with a grain of salt. It may run differently on your system, especially if you have mods or really anything that's not stock for the Steam Deck. I also should say that I have installed this on the internal SSD. I'm not running it off an external SSD or an external micro SD card. So again, if you do install it on a micro SD card, you might get different performance compared to what I'm getting. So booting right up, it actually is one of the faster games I've ever tried on a Steam Deck right away that booted into the game. Sometimes it can take 5 to 10 minutes on a first time boot process, and this one literally went right into it. So just really quick, we're gonna look and see what we have for the graphics. So they do have presets, which is really cool. If we click on that, we can see we have recommended, prioritize performance, balance, prioritize graphics, ray tracing, and then max. So we're gonna try the different ones throughout this video, but I'm gonna start out with recommended. For the screen resolution, looks like we're at the max of 1280 by 800, a refresh rate of 60 Hertz, frame rate variable, display mode is full screen, vertical synchronization, thank goodness we're gonna leave that off. So in max resolution, we can have it in 4K, but obviously we're gonna leave it in full HD. And then let's see, so performance, medium, low. So pretty much just putting everything at low for the most part. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty low performance out the gate here, or at least low in terms of its quality out the gate here. But I'm really curious to see what the performance is gonna be like in terms of its FPS. And in terms of that, with the Steam Deck itself, I don't have anything changed here. Everything is by default. So we have no frame limit, 60 Hertz refresh rate, nothing else there. So with that, let's just jump into a new game. And again, I'm not gonna show you guys any of the cutscenes. We're gonna skip all that to avoid any spoilers. Alrighty, and we are into the game. We are in chapter 1. So far, it's looking pretty good. I mean, even at everything pretty much low, I can still make out all the details. I can see the wisps in Leon's hair, even though it looks a little greasier than normal. But it still looks pretty dang good. I'm really curious to see what the performance difference is going to be like when I put the graphics up a little higher. So right now, we're getting about 50 FPS, I'd say on average. Looks like we can run. So yeah, up close the details aren't too good, but I mean when you look at it on this little screen, yeah, you're not going to notice it. You're only going to really notice the downside of the graphics if you blow this up on like a 1080p or a 4K display. But if you're playing it on the handheld itself, I honestly wouldn't mind it playing at these settings. And even though we're getting 50 FPS, it feels smoother than that. Pretty interesting, actually. Let's go on in the cabin here. We're getting a little bit of stutters here and there. But nothing game breaking.
Anyone home?
So yeah, everything's loading pretty easily. Even going into the settings is pretty quick. Let's try setting a 40 Hertz refresh rate with a 40 FPS cap. All right, let's see what this is like. Because if we can stay above 40 FPS, this will probably be a lot smoother than what we had prior. Because any dips below 60, you're going to notice those little hiccups. And this will probably be the way that I'll play it from now on. Yeah, even going into the cutscenes, no real issues here. Great to see. And this is running off the RE engine, which was created for Resident Evil 7. It's been used now in Resident Evil 8, the Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, and now this one. And I gotta say, like, Capcom has outdone themselves with optimizations, especially for PC gaming, with these recent games. I mean, the RE engine is just flawless. It's so good. And they're beautiful games, too. I mean, they're not like, you know, they're not bad looking by any means. So the fact that they run as well as they do, even on lower end hardware, is really impressive. I mean, you can make out all the detail there. That doesn't look bad. I don't want to kill you, old man. Well, I guess I had to. And, you know, the performance may change depending on where you're at in the game as well. Of course, we're in a secluded area inside of a house at the moment, but, you know, when we get to a wide open area with a lot of enemies, the performance might dip. So that's what I'm curious about. We'll see what it's like with a gunfight here. I'm not usually a controller player, so sorry about my bad aim. Oh god. Oh.
This just keeps getting worse.
Nasty. So definitely so far being about 10 minutes into the game, I'm not really noticing any dips below 40. This is definitely playable. So I'm very curious to see if raising the graphic settings, how badly will it impact the performance? Love that seamless transition into the game. All right, so let's turn off the 40 FPS cap and put it back on 60 hertz. And let's change up some of the settings here, because this is what a lot of people like in these videos. So we are going to change the... Oh, it looks like you can't even mess with the presets yet. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get to a save station up here, which I think there was one in the demo, if I remember right. So once we get to the save station, we'll get back to the main menu. I'll switch up some settings and we'll come back. All right, so we're back at the main menu here. We're gonna look at the presets again. So we were running on recommended. Now, there is a prioritized performance mode. So reduce demands on your system without any drop in image quality. Ray tracing will be turned off. Recommend graphics. So I'm assuming most of these settings are gonna be the same as the recommended, to be honest with you guys. So I'm gonna skip this one completely because even on the recommended, the game ran really, really good. So I'm just gonna jump right to balanced. If you want to see performance, I apologize. Again, I just don't think it's going to be much different from the recommended. So let's jump into balance and see how different it's going to be. This loaded really fast. So we're back where we left off. Now we're on balanced. Again, we don't have any limits right now with the FPS. Everything is default or standard. And we already are seeing a pretty significant difference in the performance. Kind of interesting. Went up to 100 FPS in that little menu. But yeah, we are dropping down to 30. But in terms of like graphical fidelity, the texture quality definitely went up. Even on Leon, there's less fringing around his body. It does look better. But I'm not a huge fan of 30 FPS gaming. But if you guys can deal with that, I mean, the best way I look at it is if you like graphic quality over performance, then this is probably what I would go with. And then you can always set a 30 FPS limit. So we'll leave it at 60 hertz, 30 FPS. And this is probably how I would play the game. If you wanted, you know, a little bit better texture quality, you can read text a little easier. Looks a little better, of course, on the eyes. Or if you're going to be blowing it up on a 1080p display or on a 4K display, of course, that's what I would do, is I would play with this mode on a 30 FPS cap. So yeah, there's definitely some moments where it's dipping below 30. Oh gosh, yeah, that's not good. So in my opinion, I would not recommend these settings. Just because, yeah, if it ever dips below 30, it's, in my opinion, that's unplayable. So Very interesting. Let's take off the 30 FPS cap. I'm just curious. Is that what's causing this to happen right now? No. Yeah, we're still dipping below 20. So that is a little bit of a bummer. One thing you could do to maybe help with the performance, if we were to lower the resolution, let's go to like 720p. And then if we were to add an FSR scale to maybe like a level 2. Huh, strangely enough, that really didn't help at all. It even added some black bars on the top and bottom, so yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend that either. So we'll keep it at its full resolution for now. Alright, we're back at the main menu again. So seeing what we saw with balanced mode, again, I would totally recommend, if you're going to be playing this on the Steam Deck, to stay either with the prioritized performance mode or recommended. I would just go with recommended. I mean, as you guys could see, we were getting a steady 40 FPS, no problem, and the game ran very butterly smooth, but you're just gonna have to deal with a little bit, you know, on the lower end of the graphics, which is not a really big deal when you're playing on this small of a display. It's just gonna be noticeable when you blow it up on a big display. But just for the fun of it, for the heck of it, why not? Let's go into the other modes of, let's try prioritize graphics, and then we will try max, even though I have a feeling this will crash the game. But we're gonna try prioritize graphics, because why not? Due to high usage, minor bugs may occur. Sure, why not? All right, whatever. And let's go into it and see what happens. Now, wow, so far so good. I'm actually surprised that we're getting above 20. I thought we would be like maybe 15 FPS. And to be honest with you guys, it really doesn't look any better than it did on balanced mode, which is kind of ironic, because it clearly is using more of the processing power, which is causing worse performance, but yeah, it really doesn't look that much better. So I would highly not recommend this setting. Yeah, I would highly not recommend. It's even got a really bad delay right now too with my controller, which I did not have that issue before. If the game doesn't crash on max settings, I'm gonna be extremely surprised. So yeah, now it's on the red, so oh gosh, I'm scared. It's okay, little buddy, it's gonna be okay. Wow, so far so good. This is the performance I expected on the like graphic quality. What was the name of it? It wasn't high, it was like, wow. I'm having a mind blank right now because my mind is blown that I can run this at max and it's not crashing. I mean, clearly it's not playable. I would not play the game like this. But yeah, look at the detail on like Leon's jacket now. His hair looks a little different. But even in the environments, like if you don't move the camera, it looks insanely good. It looks way better, of course, because you're on max detail now, but no way in a million years would I ever recommend doing this, because it's just gonna hurt your Steam Deck because you're running at 99% the entire time. It's running super hot, and clearly the performance is just not there. But still cool to check it out nonetheless. So the last thing we're going to do, I'm actually going to go back to recommended mode, and we're going to go into the village area where we fight a ton of enemies, and I'm going to see if we can keep that steady 40 FPS that we were getting earlier. So again, we are going to set this to a 40 Hertz refresh rate with a 40 FPS limit. You don't have to do this part, but this is just what I prefer because it does feel a little smoother than just leaving it at an uncapped FPS. So it is a pretty big difference going back to recommended in terms of the graphic quality, like the fringing around his hair and stuff like that. It is a huge difference now that now that I got a taste of how pretty this game is, or how it can be. It is a big difference. But that being said, I can get used to this pretty quickly because I can still see just fine, and the game runs so much better that it's 1000% worth it. All right, so we're coming up to the area with the village, main village, I should say. So far, we're still keeping that 40 FPS even with all these extra people loaded in. Let's see if it stays that way. Now, I'm more than likely definitely going to die here because I am playing the game literally looking through my monitor on my camera, so this is very tricky to play like this. But again, the main point of this is just to make sure the FPS stays even when you got a lot of enemies on screen. Just kick that grandma in the face. Leon don't care. Oh, what the hell? Breaking that window. Couple dips here and there, but pretty small ones. Let's get in the house. Oh Lord, they're coming. I don't know how to switch weapons. Is it L1? Triangle. Oh, a directional pad, duh. Oh my god, the gore, dude. That's crazy. So we are dropping below 40 a couple times here and there, but it's not noticeable, at least. Like, I haven't felt like a stutter or a slowdown in the game itself. It's just if I'm, you know, hounding on the FPS counter myself, I will notice those drops. But in normal gameplay, I'm not going to have that on. So I really would not notice it, which is good to say. Very good to say. Oh, I tried to dodge it and I screwed up. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Leon. Oh, well, we died. And I think that was a pretty good showing for right now. If So, in the end, does this game run on the Steam Deck? 100% yes. Yes, it does. It does not need to be verified or anything. I would highly recommend buying this game just to play on the Steam Deck because clearly it runs just fine. Yes, we did see a couple drops here and there down below 40 while in the big herd of people, but honestly, my jaw is on the floor right now. I was expecting 100% when going into that area with all those people that the game would just stutter and lag and it would be unplayable, even at the lowest settings. And the fact that it wasn't, and I could stay at a steady 40 essentially, and not really feel those stutters or anything when it dropped below 40, that is a huge plus, and that's a huge thumbs up from me. I'm super excited to play more of this game and to play through the entire game. I am doing a full playthrough that I will be uploading to this channel. So if you're new to the channel, first of all, thank you so much for being here, and make sure to subscribe and leave a like to show your support on this video, and to definitely check out my full playthrough that will be uploaded very soon. My first video will probably be coming up same day as this one going up as well. I'm trying to get this stuff out there for everybody because there's a lot of hype around the game and I'm super excited to get into it myself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I answered any questions you guys had on Resident Evil 4 running on the Steam Deck. If there's anything that I didn't go over completely in this video, let me know in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And we'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey guys, Nick here once again, and I just wanted to pop into the very end of the video to give a special shout out to my channel members. If you don't know what a channel member is, essentially these wonderful people are using their hard-earned money to help keep the channel alive. So that's why I want to give a huge shout out to these guys because they're amazing. And if you want to become a member yourself, you can do it as easily just by clicking on the little join button below every single one of my uploads, or just by going to my channel. There is 4 different tiers depending on how much you would like to support each month, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. And trust me, even if it's $2, it helps a ton and it adds up at the end of the month. so that I can get more games for you guys to review or make retrospective videos on, or to buy new technology such as new computer parts, or really anything to keep the channel afloat and to make more content for you guys. So with that, I want to thank Kenneth Fellows, Hull Healers, Boltworks and Restoration, Wade Lady, Vinny Severman, and Thrasher to Black Stallion. You guys are all amazing, and thank you so much for all the wonderful support. This channel is just growing and growing every single day, and I can't wait to see where this channel leads us. So with that, have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time. Peace.